it's Jenny B from vitalitybyjenny.com, and today we're going to talk about how to get rid of fruit flies. And this is because I have just had to get rid of a million of them. And so I wanted to talk to you how I got myself into this situation where I had a million fruit flies in the house anyway, and then what you can do once this situation happens. Because if you are eating a high fruit diet, then this may come up from time to time. So the reason that we ended up with a million fruit flies is because when we moved here, I was able to start composting even more, because I only had a small space before, but now I have a large space, so now I can compost everything. And so we've been throwing everything in a pile and keeping it in like an old tub of spinach and just kind of setting the lid on top of it. And it sat there overnight once, and all of a sudden we had a gazillion fruit flies, of course. And they had already kind of started to congregate in there anyway, because one batch of our bananas actually got really ripe. So we had like 3 bunches of bananas that were getting pretty ripe, pretty overripe almost. And so they had already started to congregate, but then when I left had a bug on me. When I left the compost out overnight, then we had an absolute mess of them. So now, once you have a situation like this, then I'm going to tell you what we did to get rid of them all. Because they're harmless, but man, they are quite annoying and frustrating, and I don't want them all over my fruit. And you know, after they do start getting into the bananas and stuff, then you just got to throw them away. So instead of wasting fruit, here's what you could do. So one is, of course, I had to start keeping the compost in something that had a much more secure lid. The lids on the plastic spinach jugs weren't doing the trick because it wasn't sealing all of the way. So I switched over to a big glass container that had a snappable lid. So I've been using that instead. And then I also got rid of all of the overripe fruit, or the fruit that was, on the verge. I froze all of those bananas that were overripe, and we got everything cleaned up, made sure that there was no fruit in there that had been sitting for, a while that was ripe. So that took care of attracting more, but we had to get rid of the ones that were already there. And so we made a very makeshift little fruit fly catcher. And this is so simple, but so effective. So all you do is take a jar, I put a couple chunks of banana and an old banana peel in there, because they seem to like the peels. And then I just funneled up a piece of paper, so it has like a small hole in the one side, and I just taped it. And then you just, see, they're still in there right now. But so then you just stick it down, and what happens is they'll go down the funnel to get to the fruit down at the bottom, but then they can't necessarily find the little hole to get back out. And so then I've just taken it out like 3 times a day and, let them go. You just take the funnel out and they all fly away. And then I just put it back in there and keep catching more. And I had to do it for one day and through the night. And then this morning I woke up and the majority of them are gone. There's only a couple left in there. So thankfully, it works very well. So if you ever get in a situation where you have a ton of fruit flies in your house, just go ahead and make one of these little makeshift funnels, and you will be good to go. They're all flying around my face now. Go away. So lesson learned for me, on top of keeping our compost covered, I'm definitely going to be using up any ripe fruits and vegetables, anything that's been sitting for a while. I'll be using it up quicker now to make sure that we don't get this type of an issue again, even though it was quite easy to fix. And so if you seem to have an issue where it's kind of constantly happening, where you just have a couple here and there, then I would suggest just keeping your little trap, out somewhere on the kitchen counter or somewhere. I've been keeping it by our banana like where we stack all of our bananas up, and that seems to be working pretty well. So I hope that this helps you guys if you ever have an issue with fruit flies. And then if you would like a recipe book to help you get started on the high fruit, high raw, low fat diet, then go ahead and jump on over to happysexyhealthy.net, and you can grab your free instantly downloadable ebook right there. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.